What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. Sean Ross Sapp here with a name you know. She doesn't have a job anymore. She's
Guys, I'm
unemployed.
unemployed.
She's unemployed. Fightful Select had reported the news, and she confirmed it on TMZ. Uh,
Yeah.
we have Steph De Lander. How you doing, Steph?
Hey, bro. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Well, what I can also confirm is you're not going to be on this week's TNA Impact because we're filming this about an hour and a half before the show starts, and you're sitting in your house right now.
Yeah, I was gonna be, but as they say, card subject to change. So the card changed.
The card did change. What can you tell us? Obviously, you did a great interview with TMZ that I actually really recommend. But what can you tell us about your departure? We had heard that it's because they have no desire for you to wrestle or no desire to clear you.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I was told on Monday that they don't want to let me wrestle again in ring. And I said, I'm cleared. And they said, well, to protect you and to protect TNA, we don't want to let you wrestle again. And I said, okay. And then I asked what my injury was. And they said, oh, what you told us. And I said, and what did I tell you? And they said, that you broke your neck. I'm like, no, my neck's never been broken. So yeah, there was they didn't have really any details about my actual injury. And actually against all medical advice that I've been given, which is, all of the advice is you're 1,000% cleared. Your neck is one of the strongest parts of your body at this point. Like my surgeon is like, you can wrestle for another 20 years, So yeah, that's against all medical recommendation. They just don't want to, I guess, take the risk or be liable if I were to get injured again. So that's what happened.
So did they request clearance? Did you provide it? How does that situation even work? Because like I obviously you had mentioned that you paid for your own surgery, so they didn't. So maybe they wouldn't be as privy to such information as a result of that. But how does that situation even work?
Yeah, so I provide clearance. They didn't ask for any of it, but I was providing updates and providing the doctor's notes and everything that, I could to show them that I was cleared. And my doctor also, made it very clear that if they wanted to contact him to ask for any more information, if they wanted a second opinion, like my surgeon told me, he was like, I could get a panel of the best surgeons in the world right now to all agree that you are 100% okay to wrestle. So yeah, the on that side of things, I was providing all the documentation. So yeah, I think it was more so just a personal choice, it felt, rather than medical advice.
So you had also mentioned that you paid for PT as well. You had
Yes.
done all that, which is not cheap either.
No, so expensive. Yeah, so I paid for the surgeries, paid for the PT. And that was something that I made clear as well to, TNA when I was having these conversations with them. I had a pretty emotional conversation at one of the loops, and I was begging for help, because I had had my surgeries. I was doing regular PT, but I felt like it wasn't enough because wrestling is very different to normal
Yeah.
life. So I felt like I needed some more like sports specific rehab. And I was asking them to maybe ask WWE and see if I could go to the PC or see if they have connections or just try to get some more solid help. And yeah, it just the I said in that conversation, like, I don't want you guys to pay for anything. I'm not asking for you to reimburse me for any of this. Like it has never been about the money. I think, it's expensive. It's cost a lot of money, but it's not like I'm asking anyone for any money or to pay for anything. I just literally wanted help because I wanted to get back in the ring and wrestle.
So the help that you were looking for was more of just like whatever gets you cleared on their end and helps like solidify that.
Yeah, definitely, but also like legitimately help like get my body back to the point of being
Sure.
able to be a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? Because like when you're at WWE, they have obviously the performance center. They have a whole bunch of awesome PTs who understand wrestling, who can put you through a protocol that is a specific return to the ring protocol. And that's what I was asking for. And I said, like, I understand if they won't let me go to the PC, but could we at the very least try to get, a protocol, get a piece of paper, get something that will at least give me an outline of what I need to do to get back in the ring, to get my body back to where it needs to be. So, yeah, that was about 18 months of consistently asking for that. And then I finally got that like a month ago from the WWE doctor. And that's not on their end. I mean, WWE has helped me a lot more in this situation, than anyone else. But yeah, I actually ended up getting it from them. So, yeah.
So did TNA not did they refuse that evidence or clearance, or did they say it wasn't sufficient? Like, what was their reasoning and such?
They just didn't, like, it was kind of, yeah, we know, but we just don't want to let you do this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, it was, they took it on board. They had it, they knew it. But despite this, we have the final say and we have decided we don't want to fuck with this.
Not to point the finger at previous injuries, but I mean, obviously, listen, Chris Bay had sustained a very serious injury that changed the course of his life. Do you think that maybe made them overly cautious? And again, I'm not blaming you. Nobody could have predicted that could have happened, obviously. But do you think that maybe kind of scared them a little bit?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it would be ignorant to think that, that situation didn't create a lot of stress and anxiety behind the scenes when it comes to injuries, specifically spinal injuries. And I think part of it is, I think they just thought we can't afford, from a financial standpoint, from a PR standpoint, from, we don't have the capabilities to deal with another situation like that. So I think that kind of scared them. And I think that probably has something to do with this. And again, it has nothing to do with Chris. It's, like, I'm sure he will watch this and be devastated about this situation, and Chris has actually
Sure.
been extremely helpful to me through my whole journey. And he actually sent me like his eye, like an iron neck, like training device. And like, he's been
Yeah.
amazing. Right. But yeah, I do think that that made them scared of, injuries and spinal injuries. And I think they didn't want to deal with it.
I think a lot of people will be surprised that you say you weren't on salary, which, quite frankly, this is the situation with a lot of TNA wrestlers. They're on different types of deals. Are you able to get into that a little bit? Because I think that when people hear wrestler so and so has signed a contract, which again, TNA loves putting those graphics out. They love me not getting them, but they love putting those graphics out. And maybe you can shed a little bit more light on how the structure even works there for some people.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, most talent aren't on salary. They are on pay per appearance, which basically means if you get booked for this day, you will get paid whatever your rate is for that as a day rate. So it's, it's great if you're booked consistently and you're working and you have a good rate and all of that, but then it is difficult for people if they are left off for a loop or a few loops in a row, or you know what I mean? Like, if there's only 2 tapings a month, that's only, 2 opportunities to get paid. So it's not a conventional like weekly salary paycheck. I know they did do that previously, and I think there's still a few people that might be on that kind of deal just from like signing that with previous
Yeah.
management. But from what I'm aware, for the most part, it's moved to pay per appearance deals.
So is there a minimum guarantee per month or anything like that on there? Or is it just simply you can just go months without getting paid if they don't book you?
Yeah, you can go months without getting paid if they don't book you. Like, even for the tapings next week for New Orleans, like, we were told we were on both of them. They had booked the travel and whatever. And then I got an email that we were only needed for one day. And that was kind of part of what made me think, like, okay, I thought I was gonna be wrestling at this show. Now I'm booked for one of the days, which again also means that you're not getting paid for one of those days. So you've planned your month around, I'm gonna be earning this much per month. You haven't taken any bookings that day, and then if you get told 2 weeks beforehand, it's too late to pick up any indie bookings. So that part of like the scheduling and everything being so last minute can definitely like affect you financially as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been surprised that companies, even on television, don't offer a guarantee. I remember a couple years ago, AC Romero had to like beg out of his deal. Larry D had to beg out of his deal because they weren't getting booked and they couldn't book anything because they weren't getting booked and they were hoping that they would. I'm surprised to see that's still a thing, but also like Mance has left as well, correct?
Yes, yeah, Mance left as well.
So what is his reaction during all this? Because listen, I have seen the nice side of Mance. I have seen the upset side of Mance. I have seen a lot of different sides of Mance. And obviously in this situation, there's gonna be a lot of feelings that are had.
Yeah, I mean, Mance has been very supportive this whole situation, and he has just been by my side. And he's like, "Look, it's your story to tell." He supports me 110%. I didn't ask him to leave. Like, if he wanted to stay at TNA, I would have understood, and I would have been happy for him to have his journey, and I'll have mine, and I'm sure we'll work together again at some point. But he made his own decision. I think just from seeing how that situation was handled, I think he was at that point was ready to leave as well.
Why is it that everybody you appear on screen with leaves TNA?
On to bigger and better things, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
You've had Mance leave. You've had PCO smash a championship belt on
We're
another
all
program.
dramatic. That's what I will say. We've
Yeah.
all had dramatic exits.
And Matt's been in and out. He's
Cardona,
gone for
he's
good now.
gone.
He's
Yeah.
gone for good now. Everything
Yeah.
you touch leaves TNA.
Well, maybe it's a
If any
curse.
Listen, if anybody wants out of their deal, just team with
Legit.
Steph.
Team with me. Team up, bro.
So, how is the contract situation working there? Are they giving you a release? Like how is that even working right now?
I think every case is different. You know what I mean? Like I think in this situation, like I asked for my release immediately and I had it the next day. Um I think they probably knew that it was also in their best interest to not try to, keep me locked in for another, because also if they were going to keep me locked in for another 3 months, because my deal was up in June, I mean, are you then paying me for the rest of the time? You know what I mean? For each date
Yeah.
that there is, like what happens there? So yeah, I guess, we had the conversation. I asked my release, so did Mance. We got the papers the next day. There's no compete or anything like that. Like we are completely free out and ready to go. So yeah, that has been good at least.
So you've mentioned this, like you're eligible for or available for wrestling bookings, like as of now, as of recently, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As of now, like I set the date as April 1st because I was planning for the March 27th, 28th date to be my
Sure.
big TNA TV return. But I mean, I've been in the ring, bumping, wrestling, getting around, and I feel great. So pretty much at this point, I'm ready to wrestle.
So how has that been for you? I mean, like the first time you get in the ring after being out for even that long, almost it's coming up on 2 years, like since you were in the ring regularly. Was that daunting for you or were you just ready to kind of attack it? Cause like you were in the ring a lot right before you were out of the ring for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was daunting to a degree, but I also was very excited to just get in the ring. And once I got in the ring and started moving around and started feeling it, I was like, okay, like you have muscle memory, your body remembers, what you're doing. I will say I've been like I get dizzy easily from like doing crazy rolls, like cuz the rolling, like my brain just hasn't been used to like going up and down in every way. Like I feel like I'm in a washing machine. So I've had to kind of like train my body to get used to like those kind of movements again. But yeah, as far as being in the ring, like I feel really good and it feels good to like hit and be hit again, you know.
So, as things stand, like, what's your schedule looking like right now? We talked a little bit off the air, but like, do you got bookings lined up and all that good stuff, or is now when you really expect to get that rolling?
Well, I have actually just locked in my new first match back. It hasn't been announced yet, but it probably will come out tomorrow, I would say. So stay tuned for that. Just about to announce my first match back. But then the schedule after that, I mean, now I have some free open dates that were TNA dates. So I am available for bookings at Steph De Lander at gmail.com. Guys, slide in. But yeah, I've started slowly taking some bookings, taking some appearances. Obviously, we've got Mania Week, which is going to be huge. We've got a couple of signings coming up too, and a few shows that we've booked. But yeah, the calendar is filling up nicely. So yeah, we'll just have to see what's next.
You're also going viral this week with your friend Steph Tolev,
Oh my god,
s
so funny.
spearing her. I mean, you let her fucking have it. Oh my god, you did not take it easy on this woman. You speared the living shit out of this woman.
I know. I Well, look, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
And
god.
we also were in a public pool at a fucking fancy hotel, and I was like, everything that we do has to be one take. Like, we're gonna get
Yes.
yelled at some point. So, like, we have to just full send it and make sure everything looks great. So, yeah, I just literally took the wind out of her, and she was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be so sore tomorrow. I was like, yeah, for sure.
As I watched it, I was like, "All right, little suplex, that's fun." And then I saw that spear, and I go, "Oh my god!" And they milked it too. They cut every
The
type of
edit was
reaction to Zoom.
so good.
I saw that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" She respect to them for being like, "All right, this is the one. Let's go ahead and milk this one." But I mean, also she's been blowing up over the last few years as well, which has been very cool to see. But man, I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's probably gonna do well. That's gonna
Yeah, I know. I thought the idea was gonna be funny, and then as soon as we filmed like the clips and watched them back, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna do so well. It's so good."
so as things stand, like is there anything you want to accomplish outside of you know TNA and the like? I mean, have you ever teamed with Mance in a match?
Nah, not once.
I was just thinking about that because you've wrestled him. I know you've wrestled him.
Yeah. No, we've never teamed.
Wow.
I know. So us as a tag team could be pretty gnarly.
Oh my god, that kinda just blows my mind because,
I
like,
know.
it feels like you all have been together for so long at this point, and I guess just the situation has never occurred. That
No.
is kind of baffling, but is there anything outside of that that, like, you wanna do, a place you wanna work, something that somebody you wanna
Yeah.
get in the ring with?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I first and foremost, I really want to win PWI comeback of the year. So that's my like number one goal. And then everything underneath that kind of like trickles down. Like, in order to get that, I need to do this, this,
Yeah.
this, this. You know what I mean? So that's my overriding goal for the year. But I really want to wrestle in Japan. I've never wrestled in Japan.
Okay.
I went a few times with Cardona to manage him, but I've never wrestled there. So I'm really trying to make that happen. I've never wrestled in Mexico. Really want to make that happen. Never wrestled in the fucking UK or in Europe. Really want to make that happen.
Really?
Yes, because when I went over with Cardona, I was his manager. So
Oh my
I
god.
did a lot of shit during that time, but I didn't wrestle for most of it. I just managed. So there's a lot of things and a lot of places that are actually like first times for me that I want to go and do. So yeah, as far as like places that I want to go, that's like those are my kind of big three is like Europe, Mexico, and Japan for this year is what I want to do. Um, as far as people I want to face, like I think there's definitely a singles match between me and Megan Bain at some point, somewhere,
Yes.
somehow. Yeah, I think that's that has a story already weaved in, and just with GCW, and no matter where it happens, I think that would be a crazy match. So yeah, I would love to wrestle with Megan. Um, and then the rest of it is like my goal is just to kind of do what I did in 2023 and 2024 with Cardona, but my solo version. Well, also, with Mance too, but like
Sure.
recreate that level of buzz and busy and everywhere. And, now like I've taken this leap and gone out on my own. Now it's my job to back it up and, get to work. So that's my plan.
So as I think about it, Have you only wrestled in the US and Australia?
Yeah, I don't think I've
Oh my
wrestled. Oh no,
god.
I've wrestled in like Malaysia. I wrestled in Malaysia,
Okay.
which is so random, but I did a show there. But yeah, I haven't wrestled in many other countries because when I was world traveling, I was a manager. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm even looking. Yeah, you wrestled Maki Ito in Malaysia, and you wrestled Nor Phoenix
Yeah,
there as well. That's kind of wild because I mean, like you're not new to the game. You've been wrestling since you were like what in your early 20s.
18.
Oh my god!
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's get you maybe to South America soon. I'm
Yes.
manifesting that.
Manifest it, please. I would love to go to South America.
I'm manifesting it. So Steph, like, is there anything about this situation like you think that people should know and like, maybe don't? Because obviously there are a lot of questions about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing I want people to know is, first and foremost, I didn't break my neck. I had a bulging disc of my C5, C6, which is like the most common level. I had a one level spinal fusion, which is again a very routine surgery that so many wrestlers have had and returned from. I mean, my surgeon operated on Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Strowman, Maurice, like a lot of names that then went on and continued wrestling. So yeah, I just want to set that record straight of like, this situation makes it seem like I've had this like career ending, career threatening injury.
Yeah.
In reality, I've actually had the most basic neck injury you could have. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And then I just, another reason why I wanted to come out and be open about this situation is I wanted to bring up the conversation around the injury protocol, and hopefully, for the next person that has a serious injury while they work for TNA, I hope that there's better support in place so they don't have to go through the same stuff that I did.
Well, Steph, while we have you here, tell the people where they can support you while you're jobless.
Guys, I'm unemployed. You can support me at stephdelanderstore.com. That is where you get all of my merch, including my autobiography, my brand new children's book, all of the ridiculous merchandise items that I have. That is the place to find it, stephdelanderstore.com.
I'll share with you a funny quote from the news of your departure.
I love
I
it.
get a message shortly after that said, "What happened?" And it's from Shaza, and she goes, "Oh shit, I don't need you. I can go straight to her." I said, "Thanks, thanks. I appreciate you so much. Thanks."
It's so funny because like I've had people message me, but I also know that some people are definitely scared to message me
Of
about
course.
it because I can understand that. But yeah, I'm like, just watch the interview, guys. You'll understand.
Well, Steph, we appreciate you for taking the time so much. Until next time, my friends, we're out. I've told you about all the ways that nordvpn.com/fightful is beneficial to wrestling fans. And that's just on the basic tier. It works on all devices, all operating systems, allows you to change your virtual location to appear from anywhere. But there's so many more other features. You can keep your files protected with a private cloud. You can secure your passwords with a password manager as well. They have cloud storage. They've got MeshNet where you can connect to a remote devices safely and create your own private network. They have VPN servers in 127 countries. They have Threat Protection Pro. You can block malware, trackers, and even ads when you're not connected to the VPN. It's got the ultra-fast connection, dedicated IP, a data breach scanner, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for some reason you think you don't like it, you can get your money back. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Head over there, check out all of their incredible features and testimonials at NordVPN.com/Fightful.